Inshallah, before we begin with our majlis, there's a request for Fatimiyya of one of our brothers, Sheikh Hanif, in Madagascar. He lost his mother and she was buried this afternoon. He's in Saudi Arabia, coming back home, inshallah. So let's recite Fatiha for Al-Marhuma, Shahribar al-Qasim. May Allah grant her the Shafa of Fatima al-Zahra. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين إنه خير ناصر ومعين، ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد. وعلى أهل بيته الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
قال الله تبارك وتعالى في محكم كتابه: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وكونوا مع الصادقين. آمنا بالله صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات. Once again, we thank Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for granting us with another wonderful moment, wonderful opportunity to continue to commemorate the Shahada of Bibi Fatima salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayha. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. As we discussed very briefly last night regarding the personality of our beloved mother and her love for Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and whatever she did in her life, she made sure Allah comes first. Tonight also, inshallah, we're going to throw a little bit light on the life of this great lady, and tomorrow being the night of her shahada, we will discuss more, inshallah, about what we can learn from the life of our beloved mother, Fatimiyya al-Zahra, salamullahi alayha. As we mentioned last night, even Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wassalam learned from Fatimiyya al-Zahra. To such an extent, our beloved Imam, the awaited Savior, mentioned in his riwayah that was reported from him that she is my role model. Now, when you look at the life of Bibi Fatima and you study her life, you realize that she had a very simple life. For those of you who have been to Saudi in Medina, even in today's time, when you look at where she used to live, you will still say it's a very simple place. What of those times? She used to live in a very small room, very simple life. And you read history, you will also get to know that she did not spend many years on the face of the universe. But with this simplicity, look at her achievements. To tell me and you that what counts in life is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Therefore you realize that all our imams mentioned about Fatimiyya al-Zahra. For instance, you take our beloved Imam al-Jawad alayhi salatu wassalam. It is reported that when Imam al-Jawad was 4 years, they were in Medina. So one day Imam al-Jawad alayhi salatu wassalam was sitting in the house. And all of a sudden Imam al-Jawad started crying, tears overflowing from his eye. And you know one of our imams who did a lot of miracles at younger age, one of them is Imam al-Jawad. So when he was asked, why are you crying? Then Imam al-Jawad referred to Fatimiyya al-Zahra. He said he's crying according to the riwayah because he remembered the life of Fatimiyya al-Zahra alayhi salatu wasalam. The same thing, you study the life of Imam Jafar alayhi salatu wasalam. One day it is reported that Imam Jafar was sitting with one of his companions. And then the companion raised up his hand and made dua. What was the dua of the companion? and said, Ya Allah, I ask you one thing. What I want from you is that bless me with a baby girl. If you bless me with a baby girl, I will name that girl Fatimiyya al-Zahra. Now this companion made dua. So the moment he made dua, tears started overflowing from the eyes of Imam Ja'far alayhi salatu wasalam. Now this companion asked Imam, why are you crying when I made this dua? He said, of course, you mentioned our mother Fatimiyya al-Zahra. I am crying because of two reasons. One reason, you made me to remember how she departed from this world. And the other reason is that how many people name their children Fatimiyya al-Zahra when they disrespect those children. When we see our Ahlul Bayt and lovers naming their children Fatima and they do not respect this lady in their house, we cry because the disrespect they give to the children is like disrespecting our beloved mother Fatima al-Zahra. Therefore Imam said, in a house where you have a girl named Fatima, that house is immune from poverty. Imam said, in a house where you have a daughter by the name of Fatima, always the mercy of Allah will surround that house. Imam said, in a house where you have a name of Fatima, whenever there is a problem in that house, Allah will give them way out from that house. No wonder, if you read Hadith al-Qisa, I don't know whether brothers and sisters you pondered on this Hadith. Dua and at the same time is Hadith. The whole Hadith al-Qisa is around the personality of Fatimiyya al-Zahra. Yani the mehwar of the whole dua is centered around Fatimiyya al-Zahra. It's like you're doing something, you place something here, everybody's like Kaaba. When you go to Makkah, you enter that house, everything is around Kaaba. So there's something they said, the mehwar of Hadith al-Qisa is Fatimiyya al-Zahra. How? Now you realize that when the angel came to Rasulullah, or as they say, the angel asked Allah, وَمَنْ تَحْتَ الْكِسَى, who are under the clock. What did Allah say? Hum Ahlul Bayt al-Nubuwwah. He mentioned then, hum Fatima, wa abuha, wa ba'luha, wa banuha. Allah. First, Allah himself responded, he said, they are Fatima. They said, wa abuha, and her father, wa ba'luha, and her husband, wa banuha, and her children. So ulama said the whole Hadith al-Qisa is around the personality of Fatimiyya al-Zahra. To tell you that this lady is not just a lady. She's a lady that we have to take serious in our lives. She's a lady that we have to learn from her. Her life represents every good thing that you can think of to take you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is why it is reported when the father departed from this world. And as we mentioned last night, she would go after the departure of the father and should mourn. And as you all know, until they built that Bayt al-Huzn or Bayt al-Ahzan for her. They said during that moment, angels used to come to Fatima. They said one day, angels came to Fatima. And then the angel addressed Fatima, said, Ya bint Rasulullah, nahnu ilayki mushtaqat. Oh, the daughter of Rasulullah, we missed you and we want to sit next to you and closer to you. So now if angels of Allah wish to sit next to Fatima, then you know the maqam of Fatima al-Zahra is the very highest maqam in the eye of Almighty Allah. That is why one poet said, Ya bintul khulud, laha al-jibal shiqaq. Is that Fatima, she is not only a leader to Muslims, she is a leader to mankind. This poet said, whoever wants to know management, you want to know motherhood, whatever you want to know in life, read the life of Fatima al-Zahra and you will get to know what is Fatima, who is Fatima al-Zahra. I have an example, all of us sitting here in the mosque, we have a lot of wishes. And I know one of our wishes is the last moment of our life in this world. That when you are in that sakarat, either in the hospital or at home, when you are lying on the bed and you know you are going, one of your wish will be for Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib to be next to you. turning left and right, وَقِيلَ مَنْ رَاقْ وَظَنَّ أَنَّهُ الْفِرَاقْ, I should see Amir al-Mu'minin. But look at Amir al-Mu'minin. When Fatima was departing from this world, he came next to Fatima. But when he came to next to Fatima, what did he say to Fatima? This is my point, to understand the daughter of Rasul. We want Amir to come, but now Amir wanted to go to Fatima. When he got to her, Fatima was lying on the bed. He said, Ana Aliyun, I am Ali. He was addressing Fatima. Kallimini, Ana ibnu ammik. Speak to me, Fatima. I am the son of your uncle. Imam Amir al-Mu'minin came. He wanted Fatima to talk to him. Yes, scholars, when they interpret this riwayah, they said, all of us, we want Amir al-Mu'minin to come so that we can address and talk to Amir al-Mu'minin to make iltimas from Amir al-Mu'minin. But yes, Fatima al-Zahra, departing from this world, and Imam said, Kallimini, Ana ibnu ammiki. Speak to me, Fatima, before you go. Here, ulama, they said, when you look at the personality of Fatima, what took Fatima to that highest level is because of her decisions and choices in life. You know, every day in our lives we have decisions to make. But life is about decision. The whole entire life, whether social life, political life, religious, whatever the life might be, it's about decision. You have to make a decision. What we learn from Fatima when it comes to decision is that she made sure whatever decision she made, it was a decision that to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. She never took a decision for dunya. She never took a decision for selfish interest. Whatever decision she made, it was to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is why they said, even Rasulullah, whenever you would see her, would kiss the hand of Fatima. Yani every single member of Ahlul Bayt called out Fatima. You look at Imam Bakr, at one stage he was sick. When he was sick, he called out, please give me water. They brought water to Imam Bakr. When they brought water, he asked them to bring a small rag and a towel. They brought to him. What did Imam Bakr do with it? He poured a little bit of water on a towel, and then he was placing it, rubbing his face, and placing it on his head. You know what he was saying? As he was rubbing it and he was placing on his head, he was saying, Ya Fatima, Ya Fatima, Ya Fatima. Here he said, Ibn Imam Bakr, alayhi salatu wassalam, fashafa, he called out Fatima al-Zahra. For Fatima, that's why the words, Ya Fatima al-Zahra, al-Bithini, adrikini Ya Fatima. Imam alayhi salatu wassalam made dua, even Rasulullah, whenever he wanted to teach ummah about the halal and haram of Allah, first he would address it to Fatima. And how would he say? Prophet said, Ya Habibata Habiha, inna muskirun haram. Oh, the lava of her father. Allah is saying intoxicant is haram. So here ulama said, even Prophet teaching, he would link it to Fatima al-Zahra. Now let us look at 3 decisions of Fatima, then we close. That Fatima, in every decision, she put Allah forward. And I promise you, in any of your decisions, if you put Allah forward, you will not regret at the end. Many a times we regret because we fail to put Allah in our decision. It could be your life, your work. Sometimes why we work? So I work so that I will aim and be able to worship Allah peacefully. It means you are connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why do you want to go there? I want to go there because one way or the other is connected to the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They said, as a believer, every decision you make in life, it should be a decision to please Allah. Now Fatima al-Zahra, in a life, everything was to please Allah. One first decision of Fatima was the issue of marriage of Fatima al-Zahra, which we touched a little bit last night. You know, many people came to prophets proposing Fatima. And as we mentioned, one of them was Abdul Rahman ibn Auf. He came to the house of Rasulullah. When he came, and you know, Rasulullah was not autocratic. Rasulullah would call Fatima and ask for the view of Fatima. He wouldn't impose on Fatima al-Zahra. So Abdul Rahman came and he promised Prophet, he said, Ya Rasulullah, I want to marry Fatima, and I am pledging 10,000 dirham. At that time, it's a lot of money. 10,000 dirham to build a separate house for Fatima al-Zahra. Abdul Rahman came. Then after some time, Amir al-Mu'mineen came, isn't it? And you know, Amir al-Mu'mineen is from a very humble house. There was nothing. This is where we need to learn, brothers. There was nothing in their house. Sometimes food was difficult. Sometimes they had to depend on bread for them to survive. Sometimes they had to depend on a small cup of milk to survive. But look at their achievement. That tells you everything is connected to Allah. He said, "Man kana lillah, kana Allah. Aw ma kana lillah yamut." Whatever is for Allah, it grows. Whatever is not for Allah, it will grow and it will fall down. Amir al-Mu'mineen came to Rasulullah, and he also came to ask for marriage, the hand of Fatima al-Zahra. Now Rasulullah called Fatima. When he called her, he asked her. People have been coming. Abdul Rahman came. And here is Ali, my cousin is also here. What is your decision, Fatima? It's a lesson to learn also. Sometimes you cannot impose on your child. You only advise and guide. You don't impose. Rasulullah never imposed. Now Fatima al-Zahra told Prophet Ali. And when she said to Prophet Ali, she made a statement. This is my point. Aradiyallahu bihi. Is Allah happy with it? If Allah is happy with it, I'm okay. If Allah is not happy, I'm not there. Now Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, indeed Allah is happy with your choice. So everything today, whenever married, how many, what work is he doing, how much is he earning? Today, you know, we claim to love Fatima, but we don't know how to love Fatima. To love Fatima is to emulate from the life of Fatima al-Zahra. Today, we don't look at whether the person is capable of looking after. We're looking at extra and extra and extra, super extra we're looking at. That godly side, sometimes we don't look at it, unfortunately. That is why we suffer today. Divorce, problems, difficulties, because Allah is made secondary. What is made first is material. Fatima al-Zahra, is Allah happy with it? Yes, Allah is happy. No wonder only 3 loaves of bread they gave to Masakin, which some ulama said were not Masakin, were angels. Allah revealed verse 18 of chapter Insan in the ayat. They didn't give a full house. Only 3 loaves of bread, dry bread for that matter. Allah said, "Innama nut'imukum liwajhillah, la nuridu minkum jaza'an wala shukran." Yani Allah revealed a whole verse because of 3 loaves of bread. The matter is not about the bread. It's that love of Allah that was in when the bread was given out. So Fatima al-Zahra is like that. Now, number 2 decision before we conclude. You know, Fatima, when she gave birth to those children, Hasanain, they were young children. Zainab, salawatullahi alayhim ajma'in, they were young. Fatima would work in the house. And you all know about it. Where a lot of bruises in her hand. She would work. Yes, Bint al-Fidda was there. Asma bint Umayy sometimes. But Fatima would work. She would go on the ground and work. One day they asked her, watch them, I want to make my husband happy. Because making him happy is connected to the happiness of Allah. Bint al-Fidda was there. She would leave the work to Bint al-Fidda. So Fatima was doing that. She was doing that. Now Rasulullah was in his house. He said, no, one day let me go and visit Fatima and consoles Fatima. Now Rasulullah came to the house and he called the beloved daughter. Said, Fatima, the hands were bruises in the hands, wounds. Because she would kneel down and she would clean. She would kneel down and she would cook. Now Rasulullah made a statement which I want you to pay attention. Said, Mararat ajili aw ta'ajjali bi mararat ad-dunya bi halawat al-akhirah. Prophet said, oh my beloved Fatima, all this bitterness and the pain of this world will hasten your happiness on the day of Qiyamah. And the Prophet came to console Fatima. But look at the response of Fatima. Said, Alhamdulillah ala na'amaihi wa shukru ala alaihi. Oh, praises be to Allah on His blessings and ni'mah on us. And thank Allah on these things that we have. No complaint. Allah is there, they are happy. Once Allah is there is no any other complaint anymore. Fatima, she was struggling. But her struggle is to please Almighty Allah. Now last but not least, still Fatima decided Allah is number one. You know, the night they took her to the house of Amir al-Mu'minin, she cried that night. She cried. Hey. People were astonished. Because you know, the night of Arusi, you have to go there, it's happiness, it's shawdi, there is no problem to cry. And I want us to learn from Fatima. Now, Mulai Kainat, he knew, so he asked Fatima, why are you crying? When it is a night to be happy, this is the night of your marriage, the night of your nikah. Fatima said, the way I moved from my house to your house, the moment I got to your house, one thing came to my mind. The day that I will be moved from your house to my final abode. Death. Fatima cried. Everyone would say, that's my happiness. Yes, happiness. But Fatima said, no, أنا أفكر عن انتقالي من بيتك إلى عالم الآخرة. I'm not thinking the way I move from my father's house is done. The next move is my movement from your house to grief. Therefore, I cry for that. So these are some of the lessons that we learn, brothers and sisters, when we commemorate and celebrate the life of personalities like that of Fatima. Let's try as much as we can in whatever we do, put Allah first. Once you put Allah first, you will not stress at the end. Beginning you may face some challenges, but that's not a big deal. So long as Allah is your criteria, so long as Allah is your standard, so long as Allah is the one you give everything to, He will not let you down. That is why Imam Zain al-Abidin in his munajat said, Jamal al-Habib la sitra lahu wa la hijab. Azil al-Gubar ala al-tariq likay tara al-Habib. Imam Zain al-Abidin said, the beauty of the beloved has no veil and has no dust. The dust is with you, human being. Remove the dust and the veil and you will see the beauty of the beloved. Yeah, look at her with all the difficulties, but she saw the beauty of Allah. Hence she thanked Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We ask Allah to give us the blessings of Fatima al-Zahra. Assalamu alayki ya Fatima binti Rasulullah. Assalamu alayki ya ammati Fatima al-Zahra. You know, as we mentioned the masa'ib of Fatima al-Zahra, Ulama said there is one musibah that most at times we forget to remember. So that musibah is that the grave of Fatima al-Zahra is not known, is hidden. So the fact that nobody knows exactly where Fatima al-Zahra is buried is also another musibah of Fatima al-Zahra. That is why her beloved son Imam Hassan al-Mushtaba, many years after the Shahada of Fatima al-Zahra, he wouldn't forget to cry for Mother Fatima al-Zahra. Riwayah said one day Imam Hassan al-Mushtaba met Mughira, and Mughira was one of those who participated in the killing of Fatima al-Zahra. When Imam met Mughira, he called Mughira and said, Mughira, Anta allazi darabta binta Rasulillah hatta admaytaha. You are one of those who attacked the daughter of Rasulullah. You are one of those who beat the daughter of Rasulullah. You are one of those who slapped the daughter of Rasulullah. until you made her to bleed. Riwayah said Imam Hassan al-Mushtaba cried. Then the tears started overflowing from the eyes of Imam Hassan al-Mushtaba. That is why Riwayah taught us it was on that night after Maghrib Namaz. Fatima al-Zahra called all members of the family, Amir al-Mu'mineen, Hassanain and Zainab Kulthum. It is said after Maghrib when she called them, she looked at the face of Ali and she said, "Oh my beloved husband Ali ibn Abi Talib, this is my final farewell. When I die, do not let anyone witness my burial. Oh Ali, when I die, I want you to bury me at night. But there are some lines which is so hurtful, I want to conclude with them." Fatima looked at Ali. Ali was crying, Hassan was crying, Hussein was crying, Zainab, they were all crying. Ulama said the house of Azad Ali had come. Then she said to Ali, "Oh Ali, when you bury me at night, sit next to me, don't hurry in going back home, Ali. I want you to sit next to me. When you sit next to me, Ali, I want you to recite some verses of Quran, Ali." And then she said, this is the line, "Oh Ali, when you finish reciting verses of Quran, I want you to mourn for me and cry. But when you cry for me, then cry for the orphans that I'm leaving behind. Cry for those orphans." Then the line said, "Oh Ali, there is one orphan that will remain in our heart. That is Imam al-Hussein alayhi salatu wassalam. I will not be there to cry for Hussein, and Ali, you will not be there to cry for Hussein. But tell all my lovers and my Shia who will cry for Hussein on the day of Qiyamah, when I appear, my Shafa will cover them and enter Jannat al-Firdaus." That is why it is said, Amir al-Mu'mineen, every day he will go to the shrine and the grave of Fatima. He would sit next to the grave of Fatima. And Imam would cry and cried and cried. And Imam would say, "Ya Allah, after Fatima there is no life. Let me go where Fatima is." Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون والعاقبة للمتقين. اللهم إنا نرغب إليك في دولة كريمة تعز بها الإسلام وأهله وتذل بها النفاق وأهله وتجعلنا فيها من الدعاة إلى طاعتك والقادة إلى سبيلك وترزقنا بها كرامة الدنيا والآخرة